Back to a test that we were doing yesterday, and we drained the batteries to 11 volt. This has never happened on my channel that my batteries shut down, but I was doing this for a reason. It doesn't mean it's negligency, it's just due to curiosity and science plus technology. Live here at the JW Solar USA. These are the batteries. I'm going to give you a glance again on the batteries. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Here are the batteries right there. So these are just a mini or just a little portion like a power pack or jump pack batteries. That's how they look like. It's a sea lead acid SLA batteries, are 12 volt, 22 amp hours each. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them wired in parallel to create a 12 volt system, and a portable generator I was planning to build years ago, and I'm still don't mess with the box because it costs about $75 to $100. So I'm gonna take my time. I'm still contemplating what I'm gonna really utilize this box for, or get the perfect batteries I'm gonna be utilizing for this application. Thanks for watching. Live from Minnesota with the JW Solar USA. Let's get back to the charge controller. As you can see, the power track is tracking power, which is getting light out there a little bit, and you can see it's trying to put about 11.2 volts already on the batteries. These batteries were considered dead because I let them run, and I was watching TV all the way since yesterday. You can check the time if you want to know the time I started. Play both videos, part 1, part 2. You will see what I was doing. And with a lot of snow and cold, it was ridiculous. And guys, if you think yesterday was cold, -5 degrees, right now we're sitting at -15 degrees, which is approximately minus 25 to -26 degrees Celsius. That's how cold it is. It's colder than a freezer. A refrigerator, you think a freezer is cold? No, it's not cold. You can take the coldness of a freezer and say thank you, but it's cold outside. I went outside and tried to start my car. Guys, it's ridiculous. It's just, you can hear how the belts were kind of like squealing, and it feels horrible. I felt sorry for the car, but what am I going to do? This is Mother Nature. All right. So what I did, I was watching some series. I engaged myself yesterday, and I was home and just trying to mind some of my business and trying to shoot some videos for you, show you how technology works or what you can able to do to energize the battery. So what I'm doing, I try to energize the batteries in a way that I respect batteries. I don't disrespect them, but I try to energize this battery and see how to energize them in a way that draining them shut down, and trying to get the efficiency on those batteries, or to see how much they can hold from the previous video test to now. If we get them all charged up again today, I'm gonna let the batteries charge, and the sun it probably started coming up a little bit, and we'll see how much power we're gonna be making. Get these batteries all the way to absorb and float. And here is the inverter I was running yesterday. It's a Duracell 400 watt high powered inverter. This one you've seen on my test, on my portable generator test, and it has been doing a fantastic job. It cut off at 11 volt. So I let the TV on a standby, or not standby, it was just sitting there. I paused the video because I was doing a lot of stuff, and I end up accumulating over over 10 gigabyte of data, because I was streaming, and due to that, and the TV was just on standby, or not standby, on a pause, and the data I accumulated was sent to me, said I already accumulated over 10 gigabyte since that time. So a 10 gigabyte is a lot of data that we took from high definition, ultra high definition television. So these are the specs. If you are wondering or curious, this Duracell inverter can peak up to about 400 watts, 5 minutes max, and continuous at 320 watts continuous. And the DC output is 5 volt DC to 2.1 amp. Neutral floating. So here, if you want to get this inverter, here are some of the specs for you're going to look for. The part number is DRINV400 Duracell. So guys, it has thermal heat sink or thermal control when it gets hot. I already felt this thing really hot one time, which I was really scared. I can smell just like probably the cheap plastic that was made out of this thing. It's incorporated with two outputs, AC output, one a USB port. It has a green light and a fault light. So I smell the rubber or the plastic that was made with this one old inverter. That scared me at one time, and I've never seen this inverter and get so hot and in my hot to the touch or warm to the touch, and the fan kicks in because I open it up trying to see if the thermal control sensor is working. But since I don't mess around with some stuff on electronics, I don't just goof around with it, I let it do its thing. So I want to prove this thing was, if it was really efficient and is gonna do it, if any in a time of crisis or um, uh, hot temperature, then I gonna know that this thing is really safe. But what was happening that time? I had this thing running, and the air conditioner was running in the house, so it's really hard for this inverter to prove itself, like if the thermal control sensor is working, because it's not like reaching to the peak or the temperature that was set up for this thing to regulate so that the fan can kick in. And one time, as soon as I got some load and I was streaming that time testing this, I have a video on that. Check on the video on this ones and you will see. And all of a sudden the fan kicks in. That was a big relief. So this thing, the fan is working, so I know the temperature sensor is working. So that gives me a big relief because I can smell the rubber, cheap rubber or plastic that's set up this thing, like, yeah, you smell something like it's burning, and I can smell it, and all of a sudden it kicks in, but it's not loud at all. You can't even tell. It runs like just like any small fan they make for equipment that's meant for quietness instead of being loud. So I'll give it a thumbs up, and this thing is working. All right, so check it out for portable use or whatever you want to do. We are back here, and you can see the PT-100 is now producing some power. We are sitting at 11 volt, 11.3 volt, and we're bringing in 0.6. It's just half an amp, over half an amp coming in, and we are not making any kilowatt. Okay, no watt we're making, no watt hours, but it's making 0.6 amps, just like a trickle charge. But the good thing, this light is on now, which is the MPPT has been initialized. So look at the amps are going up 0.7. So we getting there. So stay tuned for part 4 of this video, as I'll be bringing you the latest, how much we can get out of this thing today. And I just saw the 8 just jumped right there. So we are getting there. The voltage is going up, and the amperage is going up as well. Live in Minnesota with the JW Solar USA at the command center. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, today is gonna be Super Bowl. You know, do you know what team you're supporting? If you know the team you're supporting and you want to share, go ahead. We gain zero point 0.1 millivolts and 0.1 amp hours, milliamp. So we started making some power here. We started making some power. Believe it or not, it's gonna pick up soon. 11.4. All right. Stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Love you guys all. Bye for now. So before I go, the other thing I was gonna point out. Look at that. It's an amp. We just made an amp. Is the snow is still on the panels. Okay. Now we're just making a 10 watt. 10 watt just came up. And let's see what's the amperage. Now is an amp. An amp and 10 watt coming from the solar. There was no wattage coming up before earlier, but we were making 0.6, 0.7 milliamp. So this is the power of 12 volts with solar covered with snow outside, and it's cold. All right. Like I said, guys, it's cold and it's not melting. The snow is not going anywhere, but you can see it's the temperature is very, very, very cold. Minus 15, minus 16 degrees Fahrenheit. You calculate that, you see. And you see the free to air satellite, you can see all the icicles, and you can see the steam because I opened the door, and the heat. So this is what it is. So I got a lot of snow on the panels. So see, just like my porch, you can see the snow, the height of the snow right there. So this is what it is. Just want to show you guys, but it's promising. The sun is coming up. It's gonna see if it's gonna do any melting towards the panels. Like and subscribe. JW Solar USA, live from Minnesota, from the command center. Bye for now. Stay tuned for part 5. Due to curiosity, the red lights came on yesterday on the inverter. Let's see right now. Oh, making a 1.2 amps. That's a lot of progress. You see, the sun just started coming up, but it's weak. You know, it's still low on the horizon, and the location where it is now is like on the summertime. It's almost going round the house, where you started losing some great power, a lot of power. So we started dialing a little bit, started altering the panel, the power production on the panels. But look at that, 11.5. Let's see if we can able to start up this inverter, if it's gonna work for us. As you've seen right now, let's see if we can power up this thing. We get a green light. That means we're good to go, and it's a positive sign. All right, you just saw that fault light because it's trying to power the 70 inches television, ultra high definition TV, because it's not going to do it, because it's going to transmit the power back to the television, so the television can go on a standby. So let's check the power on the charge controller. This is what happened now. The voltage kind of dropped on the charge controller. We were reading about 50 something volt, and check this out. We're bringing a 1.3 amps. So okay, now the voltage went up again. It was 49 before it switches. So still sitting at 10 watt. So 11.5, big progress right there. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna simulate and shut this one off and remove the power cord. removing the power cord for the TV, and I bet you this thing is gonna power on. The green light's gonna stay on. There you go. Because I know that is gonna power on by itself. It's gonna be on, but because of the surge on the television, when you power it up, it's gonna spike the transformer on the through the television, and it's just gonna bring it into fault mode. So let's see if we can able to trick it this way by going there and plug it. If it's not gonna kill it right away, it's gonna kill it because all the component, the capacitors on the TV, they are trying to suck some juice, so there's not enough power since it's not even 12 volts yet. Like and subscribe. These are just science and technology. These are all tests you can able to do to learn more about solar, or to learn about equipment, or learn about high and low voltage. As we are accumulating more power here at the JW Solar USA, we already made about 20 watts coming in, 11.5. So it's almost 2 amps coming. So guys, this is the deal, and we like that. So the batteries are coming up. Now the amperage is going up because it's on bulk mode. It's bringing more amperage and dragging all the high voltage of the battery on the array, converted it into amps. So after that, it's gonna come absorb. It's gonna drop the amperage, but the voltage started spiking. So it's gonna pressurize the batteries. That's how the charging algorithm does on a MPPT charge controller. That's why MPPT charge controllers doesn't need a lot of panels, because you just wire the panels in series, and it depends on your charge controller specifications. It's 150 volts. That's fine. For this Magnum, it's rated approximately about 200 volts, approximately 200 volts. But operational is supposed to be on a threshold below 188 volts DC coming from the solar array. All right, but it's rated over 200 volts, but you have to be careful. Approximately 200 volts. To make this sound better, maybe I can prove it to you. So we got some people that like to they have a proof. Like I said, things they can go online and try to look at it. So this is the thing. The max PV VOC Lisa of 240 volts, or battery plus 200 volts. PV operational voltage, battery voltage plus 8 volts to 187. See, I told you, you just have to stay below the threshold of 188. Then this charge controller is going to be operational, or else it's not going to kill it. You're just going to it's just not going to work. It's going to go on a standby. It's not going to give you any power. Like the classic is going to be into hyper voltage because they regulate by themselves. It's too much voltage. So I just want to show you, and this is a 2019 charge controller. It's just barely, it's a third quarter. Yeah, so we just made it a year. It's a PT-100. Just made it a year. It's a UL listed, and this is what it is. It's a brand new puppy. The one I have on the board is is older. This is more recent, newer. This is the first one, or the last one that just came in. So this one can charge up output up to about from 1 to 66 volt battery bank. Okay, for your information, operation temperature is minus 20. So you can still operate like outside there, which minus 15 to 66 degrees Celsius. Huge progress here. 2 amps, 60 volts, and 20 watts we're bringing in. So let's see the 11.6 volts. Like and subscribe. JW Solar USA Command Center in Minnesota. Thanks for watching. Love you guys all. Stay tuned for the next episode. How this battery is going to be charged today. Live year 2021.